All right, everyone, buckle up. Today we're diving into a tangled accident case that's full of confusion, conflicting testimony, and serious legal questions. On one side, we have officer testimony claiming involvement, but with zero personal contact with Ms. Salter at the scene. On the other side, witnesses, license plates, and timing all collide in a whirlwind of contradictions. Stick around as we break down who really had control, who's telling the truth, and how this courtroom showdown unfolds. Trust me, the twists are wild. Twists.
It would be a fair statement to say that you personally never saw the defendant, Ms. Salter, at the scene. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, ma'am.
And you're indicating that the date of the incident was September or August?
September 27th.
It was September 27th. So when you spoke earlier that it was August 27th, that was a misstatement?
No, because the crash report stating it was September 27th at 12:35 p.m.
Okay, 12:35 p.m.
That's the time of the crash.
Okay, and was this James Cooper, was he issued any tickets?
No, he was not. He was struck.
He was the one that was struck?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The officer repeatedly contradicts himself. First, he claims no contact with Ms. Salter at the scene. Then suddenly, he references information provided by witnesses. This is a textbook example of the importance of first-hand observation in legal proceedings. Without personal knowledge, issuing a ticket becomes legally shaky. Notice how the court is meticulously dissecting the officer's statements. This isn't just drama, it's procedural precision. Viewers, ask yourself, if you were in the courtroom, would you trust a ticket based solely on hearsay? How do these inconsistencies impact credibility? Keep watching, because the court is about to weigh this heavily in Ms. Salter's favor.
Okay. Now, so I'm trying to understand. You're saying that you never saw Ms. Salter at the scene. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Well, who was driving? I thought you said James Cooper was driving her vehicle.
No, Cooper was in another car. She was the victim she was driving a Durango, 2005 Dodge Durango, blue in color.
A Durango 2005. And did you check the registration on that vehicle?
I did.
And who did that vehicle belong to?
James Cooper.
No, I'm not.
Which vehicle are you speaking of, ma'am?
The vehicle that you allege Ms. Salter was in.
That belongs to a Mr. Demetrius Curtis.
Was Mr. Curtis issued a ticket?
No, he was not.
Okay. And how did you come about getting the information that that Ms. Salter was involved?
A witness at the location gave the information that Ms. Salter was driving.
I'm going to object to that as hearsay. So you have no personal knowledge of who owned that vehicle?
Stricken as hearsay.
Okay.
Proceed, Ms.
Okay, so officer, I want to understand. So you have no personal knowledge that Ms. Salter was at the scene. Is that correct?
No, I do not.
All right. And it would be a fair statement to say that you wrote this ticket based on what someone told you that was her vehicle.
Objection, Your Honor. Based on what, Mr. Rosenthal?
That's speculation. I don't believe the officer wrote the ticket based off of someone else's information. I mean, that might have been part of the investigation, but not the whole part of the investigation.
Man.
That I'm going to. Okay, I'm sorry. You, Ms. Perkins, restate your question, please.
Okay.
I had a little technological.
Officer, what information did you rely upon to write this ticket when you had no contact with Ms. Salter?
At the time of the crash, I had no contact with her. The plate was taken off the car. The individual, Ms. Salter, came back to the location.
Is that, do you know that for sure? You said you never saw her. How do you know she came back?
No. At the time of the crash, nobody was there. The witness advised me.
Okay, no, not what a witness advised you, or what personally did you do? What did you rely upon? Are you saying you relied upon what somebody told you?
No, during the crash, when the vehicle was being impounded with ABA towing, Miss Salter returned back to the location and stated that I asked, why did you take the plate off the car? She stated, that's what I always do.
Now, didn't you just testify that you never had, you testified 3 times that you never had any contact with Miss Salter?
No, I testified that I did not have contact with her at the time of the crash. She was not there. She came back after the fact.
Well, my question to you initially was, did you ever have any contact with her on the date of the incident? And you indicated that you didn't. Now you're saying that you saw her and you talked to her and she took the plate off?
Yep, she came back to the location and took the plate off the car. That was prior to me arriving. She took the plate off the car.
So did you see her take the plate off the car?
No, I did not. The plate was not on the car when I arrived at the crash.
Objection, Your Honor.
Based on
Relevance, we're talking about the license plate, and we don't have anything about fraudulent license plate. This is leaving the scene of an accident, property damage with the driver license suspended. So
Well, my point, Your
Honor,
Your Honor, I'm trying to get to the basis of what he relied upon. And basically, first he said he didn't see her. Then he said now he saw her, but then he said.
So here's the final takeaway. The judge granted a directed verdict in favor of Miss Salter. Why? Because the prosecution failed to clearly establish her presence or direct involvement at the scene of the accident. Officer testimony relied heavily on hearsay, and the timing of her arrival further weakened the case. Legally, this highlights the critical role of first-hand evidence and careful documentation in traffic and accident cases. For our viewers, it's a reminder of how procedural details can make or break a case. If you found this courtroom showdown as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
He relied on what someone else said, so I'm kind of confused as to what he personally observed that gave him the right to issue this ticket to Miss Salter. I'm still not clear.
Okay, can I try to explain that to you again?
Yes, please.
Okay. When I
Hold
arrived,
Hold on.
Ms. Perkins Moore. As far as the lack of contact that this officer had when he arrived on the scene and there was no contact with Ms. Salter at that point in time, the court is going to consider that question asked and answered.
Okay.
Now you may move on with your question.
Okay. Now, so, and at the point, when did you have the opportunity to find out who this vehicle belonged to, based on your personal knowledge, not what anybody told you?
at the time of the crash, when I arrived, by the VIN number that was on the car.
And the VIN number was on you said it was a 2005?
No, it's a 2014 Dodge Charger.
I thought you said it was a 2012 first.
That was for Mrs. Cooper, the victim. There's two cars in a crash. The one victim who was hit by the Dodge Charger, which Mrs. Salter was driving.
So you're saying Mrs. Salter was driving a Dodge Charger, not a Durango?
No, she was driving a Dodge Charger, black in color, 2014.
Dodge Charger, 2014. How do you know she was driving it if you never saw her in it?
Well, the witness at the scene.
Okay, don't tell me what a witness said. Just tell me what you saw.
That's I did not see the driver of the car. There was no driver at the scene when I arrived.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Rosenthal?
Yes.
Brief redirect.
Yes, Your Honor, sorry.
Brief, please.
Brief redirect. Corporal Tonti, so on the day in question, at the end of the investigation, so you did speak with Ms. Salter and did have communication with her on this day?
Yes, they came back to the location and I asked her why she took the plate off the car and she stated, that's what I always do. I didn't understand what she meant by that.
Absolutely. And did Ms. Salter say anything else outside of what you just stated?
No, no, sir.
Hold on, Ms. Salter, please contain yourself.
And so on that day, she was talking about the vehicle being a 2014 Dodge Charger. That's the vehicle in question, Your Honor, or I'm sorry, Mr. Tonti.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Point of clarification on that.
I don't understand.
In your examination of the accident, officer, it was a Dodge Charger that struck a Dodge Durango.
That's correct.
Okay, parties be clear on that, please.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Rosenthal.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
I have no further questions.
You said no further questions, Ms. Perkins, Moore?
None.
Okay. Closing statements, Mr. Rosenthal?
Your Honor, I'd like for, I'd like for, Ms.
Oh,
Salter.
I'm sorry, right, no, my mistake, Ms. Perkins Moore, that's
Okay.
correct. Ms. Perkins Moore, would you like to voir dire your client on the record or her desire to testify or remain silent, which would not be held against her?
Your Honor, if before I do that, can I make a motion for a direct verdict?
Yes, Ms. Perkins Moore, you can make a motion for a directed verdict.
I just make a motion for a direct verdict based on the fact that the officer has not clearly placed my client. I mean, not that she was at the scene or that she had any involvement in this accident. I don't believe that the record is clear and substantiated enough to proceed with a finding of guilty.
Okay. At this point in time, the bench is actually going to grant your directed verdict. There is a certain burden that the people would have had to meet for this in order for their case as presented to survive that directed verdict. There is the issue of Ms. Salter being identified as the operator of the vehicle in some type of close proximity to the accident. Is prosecutor's case is after prosecution's, I should say, the prosecution's case is weak in that regard. She was identified at the scene sometime later, but Parsons' arrival at the scene sometime later also does not make them the operator of the vehicle, or the testimony supports arrival afterwards, but not presence, departure, and then arrival. Only arrival afterwards. There was some attempted that may have been supported by hearsay, which was impermissible to put in the record at this point in time, and is stricken by record or stricken by objection. The prosecutor's case also did not examine the insurance issue, and similar to and then going back to the driver's license offense, I don't want this, just to say the facts are somewhat blurry and create a burden that's hard to meet, is that the court is going to take judicial notice of the Secretary of State record, which identifies Ms. Salter as actually having a valid chauffeur's license. Defense motion for directed verdict. Granted as to all grounds. people's case, the people have not presented a strong enough case to survive a directed verdict at this point in time. All right, that concludes the case. Officer, thank you for your time. You may log off.
Thank you, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
officer.
Yes, Mr. Rosenthal, Ms. Perkins Moore.
Your Honor, may I be put in a breakout room for a moment with Ms. Salter?
Right, does she understand she might not understand. Well,
That's what I want to explain what happened.
Explain the long form version of what just happened, Ms.
Okay,
Perkins Moore.
Ms. Salter,
Ms.
Yes.
Salter, Ms. Perkins Moore, you should see the prompts to join the breakout room
Hold
pop
on.
up.
okay.
I tried.
Yeah, that's a couple of.
Well, I mean, there's no, her coming back and then taking the license plate. He said that she was in the accident. He told me that, but obviously things change, when you get here. But yeah, you can't even get her for the suspended driving because who's to say that she was even driving? So.
Right.
So I get it, Your Honor. I mean, I didn't have much to go
I
off.
don't know why she even bothered to cross. I'd have made that directed verdict right away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just based off what